Durham Wasps have been the team of the year, really, and they're on course for a grand slam of the major titles. Their opposition this afternoon, Peterborough Panthers. And before we go live, let's give you a summary of what's been happening so far with Red Imrie and Barry Davis.
No changes in the starting lineups compared with the semi-finals, with Brabant and Blaisdell having set new records, points for the season and goals in the playoff competition, respectively. Durham now seek a clean sweep of the season's titles. Over the years, it's taken Peterborough 17 matches to take a point in the Heineken League off Durham, and it took them 21 games to beat them. But they're certainly here in the final on merit, and their coach, Rocky Saganyuk, has served the sport well by using all the players in his squad and thereby giving a boost to young British hopefuls. Here's Doc Durden playing it in. He was a key man in the semi-final. Here's Trent Casey. Durdle. Nico Tooman having to be fairly sharp. Shea, Casey. It's coming out to Edmiston. Tends to play on defence when there's a power play. Here's a chance. Must go, and it's gone. Shea setting it up, and the early goal scored by Kenny MacDonald.
Well, it's a dream start for Peterborough. Now, it was a well-worked goal. Nice passing movement. Shea picked it up, and he wasn't too greedy. Passed it across the net. And Kenny MacDonald was able to put it in, I think, at the second attempt. Yes, nicely passed over. And Shea makes a nice pass. Kenny MacDonald missed it the first time, but managed to get it in the second goal.
Mike O'Connor. A little bit of the sting has gone out, a little bit of the pace has gone out. Couldn't have been maintained. Durdle. Got caught then, Durdle. This is Blaisdell, scores! And really that all came from the little flick puck which went over the head of Doc Durdle. He didn't seem to be aware of the danger, and Blaisdell ties the match at 1.
Yes, Doc Durdle didn't go to that puck quick enough. It was a loose puck that he should have got to. Blaisdell picks up the rebound and blasts it in the corner of the net.
1:24 left on the penalty. Durham, during those few seconds, have had 3 on target. They didn't get anything on the previous power play. This is Blaisdell, and he's going to score.
Durham are formidable enough without having a 5-3 advantage, and this is just sheer weight of numbers. And Blaisdell's very experienced player, draws the goalkeeper well and slips it and just past the side of his leg. Yeah, you see, there's just sheer weight of bodies here. A nice pass, and Blaisdell's got a bit of time, dummies the goalie there, pulls it and slips it in the side of the net.
Bennett. Always bustling, Ivor Bennett. And this is a real chance for him as it comes. Oh, goodness me, and the follow-up high on the stick is put in by Paul Dixon. Element of fortune about that for Durham. But a little bit of casual play by both sides, and suddenly Bennett was clear.
It's a terrible mix-up, and Ivor Bennett's through. Scott O'Connor, you've got to feel sorry for him. It's a great stop there, but there's the puck taken out of mid-air by Paul Dixon. And a goal to Durham. Yep. O'Connor does really well here, nice stop. But Dixon picks it out of the air and over the head of the goalkeeper.
3-1 to the favourites. Damien Smith back in front and beautifully done. Smith the scorer. The cousins working it well. Anthony Payne and Damien Smith. And Smith is the scorer to make it 4-1.
Well, this was a lovely little bit of presence of mind here, because the puck's dropped back to the short side rather than the other side of the net. The goalkeeper's gone the wrong way, and Damien Smith's got the easiest of chances.
It's a bit quiet. Shea, it's a goal! Casey. And my, how they needed that. 2 power play goals. The first lit the judge paper at the start of the match. What will that one do?
Yes, this is just what Peterborough needed here. They just kept fighting for this loose puck here. And when they eventually won it, Danny Shea, terrific heads up, nice pass, and a good conversion. Danny Shea, a lovely backhand pass as well, first time pass, and Casey was there to put it in.
So 4-2 to the Durham Wasps. Pirates back in business. So a power play for the Durham Wasps at the end of the middle period. They have a 2-goal advantage. Could give themselves real comfort going into the last period if they can make this count. Blaisdell didn't really get hold of the shot. Scored 1 out of the previous 3 on power plays. It's loose on the edge. Blaisdell, we're into the last minute. Well knocked down by Scott O'Connor. Here's Mike O'Connor. And Stephen Cooper. And Shea on a one-on-one. But decides just to hang on to waste a few seconds, and it's a bit questionable, I would have thought, from Ian Cooper, but he gets away with it. His brother picks up the puck. Now Brabant. Over the red, over the blue. Blaisdell looking for the little inside pass. Comes instead to Cooper, who scores. Ian Cooper.
Yes, well, nicely. Once Brabant got through the gap here, he had plenty of options, and his option was Ian Cooper in the slot, and he got the right bounce here. Just bounced through the goalkeeper's legs. Very unlucky.
So a chance for Peterborough on the power play. It's their 4th. They've scored 2 out of 4. Edmiston. Durdle. Just sends it in. McDonald's. And Shea. Being denied getting it back by Ian Cooper. Trent Casey, Shea! Scores! Third power play goal.
Yes, Danny Shea took this very well from a very tight situation.
Both the semi-finals were decided in the final period. The 4 teams who came here to Wembley were decided in the very last matches of the quarter-finals of the playoff competition. His decision, well, the decision clearly is going to come in the final period here, but it started very well for Peterborough Pirates, getting that power play goal through Danny Shea. They're 2 behind. There are 60 minutes and 27 seconds left on the clock. Here's the man who's perhaps made the difference. It's a question of legs. Both these teams came back so well. But here's Mike Blaisdell. Oh, and he misses! He misses, the man who scored a hat-trick. Just clipped the outside of the post. Had he scored, he would have been the record goal scorer in the final of the Heineken Championship. But he didn't score.
Well, this is dramatic. Stephen Cooper got the pass up to Blaisdell, and a great shot off the outside of the post. And Peterborough players have scored a goal here. Yeah, great shot. And there's an own goal, if you ever seen one.
Mike Blaisdell, who came late in the season, from Team Canada in January, in fact. Player with huge experience of the National Hockey League in North America. Got a bit of a deflection. Rick Brabant, key man in the Durham side, very much the playmaker. Out by Andy Allen, who was once with the Durham Championship side. Not getting the amount of ice that he's getting these days with Peterborough. Peterborough were 4-1 outsiders at the start of these finals here at Wembley. Having finished in 3rd place, coached by the man voted Coach of the Year, Rocky Saganuk, who now sees his team back in contention after really rather a poor and quiet middle period. His opposite number, Paul Smith, has yet to appear on the ice. He's the player coach, as you can see from his kit, but he's decided that bench coaching is more important for him, as it was in the final period yesterday against Murrayfield Racers, when Durham turned the tide with a vengeance, scoring 7 times without reply.
Yes, well, Peterborough, their backs have been to the wall for most of this game, but they are a team that are noted for hanging in there when things are bad, as they did in the semi-final. And 5-3 is certainly not an unsurmountable total. So the Durham bench will be getting a little bit more anxious because they've had more of the play, but they're only 2 goals to the good.
And at the moment, there's only one import on the ice, and that's Doc Durdle. The rest are British players. And it's gone loose. Goodness me, what was Scott O'Connor doing? Comes out to Durdle. And again, didn't know he had it. That's offside surely, but it's not called. Ivor Bennett, there were 2 offsides there, but neither were called. The linesman and referee not stopping the play, no advantage coming from them. This is Dean Edmiston. Durdle. Slater just to the left. Looked instead for Kevin King. Here's Dean Edmiston, and he got away! Chance for Edmiston. Good play by Frankie Killen, picked up by Kevin King. Over to Doc Durdle. This is a real chance. He's wide. Suddenly the whole thing has sharpened up. 14:57, the clock says, remaining. That's given away. Comes out to Damien Smith, who missed the semi-final because of suspension, as did his cousin, Anthony Payne. They both contributed well in the final. And here's a chance. Air shot by Damien Smith. Comes out to Danny Shea. Taking on O'Connor. Trying to get Jason Porter in. Doesn't quite make it. Chase out again for the American Danny Shea. Durdle back on the blue line. Trent Casey goes in. Durdle 23 hits the shot. Turned away by Mike O'Connor. Comes down to Trent Casey. Down on to Porter. And Casey behind the net. And here's Andy Allen. Gets hold of it. It's knocked away again. Porter. Bit of an elbow from Mike O'Connor, who's just been in the penalty box. It was he who had departed when Shea scored on the power play. And it was a very unpleasant cross-check on Danny Shea that produced the power play opportunity. Cooper's together. 66 is Ian, 55 is Stephen Cooper. And Stephen Cooper voted yet again the top British defenceman, and by being so voted, he's won the Alan Weeks Trophy for the 2nd year running, and Mr. Weeks is among the spectators.
Yes, back in trouble here. The Peterborough team are really putting the pressure on, but Frankie Killen is quick to cover that up, and very relieved, I would imagine.
Casey and Brabant at the face-off. So hoping it would come back to him, it didn't. It was won by Brabant. Chase from Mike Blaisdell. Doc Durdle gets in ahead of him and takes it nicely round. Turns the angle well too. Lives a little dangerously, lives very well indeed. Straight on by Trent Casey. Danny Shea. And I'll tell you what, the players seem to have saved their best for the moment of coming live to this match. A penalty's been called for an incident off the puck. And it's Rick Brabant who's going. I don't know whether Danny Shea is going with him as well, but I think so.
Yes, I think Danny Shea has gone for the retaliation. Rick Brabant had a high stick up around his ears, and Danny Shea just couldn't resist the retaliation, and both of them are getting penalties for it.
Number 9, Rick Brabant. Each received 2 minutes for cross-checking. Time of the penalties, 6 minutes.
6 minutes and 36 seconds have elapsed in the final period. 13:24 actual playing time. Every time there's a stoppage in ice hockey, the clock stops. So people who come to watch the sport know they're going to get an hour's play. The penalty ticking away on the left of your screen. So each side a man short. There's a little bit more room out there, but there's a little greater demand. That's a good follow-up. Edmiston just didn't take it. It's gone in. No, it hasn't. Just run by the far post. Blaisdell does a little circuit on his own. But an opportunity that Peterborough didn't take. Blaisdell, a bit of smooth skating, but not the best of shots. Durham. Not where he intended. Picked up by Mike O'Connor. Goes for the return from Ian Cooper. And gets it out in front, but only finds Trent Casey of Peterborough Pirates. This is a contest between the winners of the league and the team that finished third. It's in! Doc Girdle! And suddenly there's real belief on the Pirates bench, among the Pirates supporters, and for sure among the Pirates players. 5-4 now, the gap of just one goal. Doc Girdle seemingly catching Frankie Killen.
Yes, well, I think Doc Girdle would just fire this speculatively because Frankie Killen is well in the wrong position to stop that puck. Frankie's got his angles wrong here. This shot here, he's given him a lot of room on the side of the net, and Doc Girdle's picked up the place that Frankie hasn't covered.
5-4 to the Durham Wasps. 12:26 remaining. And I have to say that our feeling was at the end of the second period, and I think it was shared by most in the crowd, that the contest was dead. But not a bit of it. That's the beauty of ice hockey. It can suddenly come to life again. There are a few fairly heavy defensemen in ice hockey. I don't know about fat ladies, but certainly it's not all over until the fat defenseman has played the puck for the last time. This is Trent Casey. Edmiston had a good season in Edmiston, but he didn't do particularly well then. He wasn't able to hold it in. Offside not called as the Peterborough players come out. 30 seconds of the penalty, which has been more costly, certainly to Durham Wasps so far. Although each has got a man off. Mike Blaisdell. That's way into the crowd and is a souvenir for somebody. In fact, it's dropped behind. There's a bit of a search going on for it. A lady more concerned to cover her head, and I can't blame her.
He's certainly going to hand it to this Peterborough team. They just don't know when to quit, and they seem to keep coming back when everyone's written them off. And this is another gutsy performance when at times they look second best.
Well, they only broke their duck against Durham at the start of the playoffs. They were both in the same group, and they won the home match. That was the first victory they'd ever recorded in Heineken contests against Durham Wasps. Both teams at full strength, but whose is the greater strength? McDonald's scorer of the opening goal. Then took a really heavy check from Mike O'Connor, which took all the stuffing out of him. He spent a lot of the time on the bench after that. Here's Cooper away from Brabant. Blaisdell up as well. They've got the big men on the front line. Not down, but it's out. Would have been an offside if it had been played by Ian Cooper. Girdle. Every so often, Girdle defensively does a little bit of a wobble, but he's a good player, and as he's just proved, very capable of getting forward to get vital goals. Scored 3 times in the semi-final. Scored 1 and 3 assists in this final. And he's got to chase back now. Clock ticks away towards the halfway point of the final period. Girdle brings it out yet again. And first time on the ice, I think, for McKee. Back to Andy Allen. Down went O'Connor to block it. Brabant. And we pass the halfway point of the final period. Just one goal in it, 5-4 to the Wasps. Damien Smith is going to chase, but Scott O'Connor will watch that. But by getting on top of the puck, it means that the face-off is down at the Peterborough end.
Yes, but they're all having to have a line change here, and the coaches, this is where the coaches come into their own. Getting the right men on at the right time. Rocky Saganut wondering who's got legs and who's getting too tired to skate their full shift.
And certainly Paul Smith learning from the problems that Lawless had, the player coach of Cardiff, who at a crucial moment in the match found himself in the penalty box, and when he needed to make key changes, he didn't, and it was very costly to Cardiff, who went down to Peterborough because Peterborough played so well in the final period, getting a 5-goal advantage in that last 20 minutes play. This is Shea. And Ivor Bennett scored the killer goal against the Racers, trying to set up, that's the Murrayfield Racers in the semi-final, trying to set up his colleagues there. Anthony Payne didn't know where it was, and the whistle goes for the offside. Puck has to go into the attacking zone before the players.
Yeah, these are anxious moments now for each team, and it's a question how brave the coaches are going to be to allow the home-based players to play, to save legs for the better players as the game gets tighter and tighter.
Ivor Bennett, stopped by Slater. Off Scott O'Connor to Doc Durdle. Johnson in by Edmiston. 2 British and 1 American on the line here for Peterborough. The American is Shea. And he's doing a bit of wrestling to get the puck. Just chipped away from him by the Canadian Mike O'Connor. This is Damien Smith, another British player of the Smith family that, from Tom, runs the show at Durham. Solid check. And Tom Smith, the boss, down on the bench. As a sort of unofficial assistant to his son Paul, with the younger son Damien, until that change on the ice.
Yes, Tom is a player himself. Will be wanting to put his decisions in wherever he can, but he'd be wise to leave it all to Paul.
Tom, a man who is known to have a few opinions on most things. Brabant and Shea coming out to the Coopers. It blocked there between Brabant and Shea. And then lost underneath Ian Cooper. Refreshment needed. Certainly set the contest on its ears if Peterborough could come back and square it. Under 8.5 minutes. This is Blaisdell. This is good play by Mike Blaisdell. Brabant is waiting. Came on the backhand side. It's gone loose and then gathered in by Scott O'Connor.
Yeah, these are dangerous moments. Mike Blaisdell does well here, but Scott O'Connor is alert to everything. Sees the puck, and it's an easy shot, but he covers it well. Had a super match, Scott O'Connor. Yes, there the goalkeeper moving over to cover the shot. Brabant can only put it on the backhand, a little flip up, and Scott O'Connor has got it well covered.
Brabant trying to win it from the face-off. Good solid forecheck on Andy Allen, and it's loose in front. Just flicked away in time by Danny Shea. Shot wide from Cooper. And it's Blaisdell again, the man who's played for Detroit, for New York Rangers and for Pittsburgh in the National Hockey League. Top of the pile in North America. A little thick, but it was seen first by Stephen Cooper. Now Mike O'Connor. Missed most of last season because of an Achilles tendon injury. Has certainly made up for it this. Allen. Nobody wanting to make a mistake. Obviously the need greater for Peterborough. They're the team behind. The whistle goes as it's held for a moment in the corner, and Allen and Brabant get up with their arms around each other, but it's reasonably fraternal. And just a little gentle touch for Danny Shea. 7 minutes and 30 seconds for decision in the 1991 Heineken Championship. Brabant. Back on the point was Cooper. Didn't use him. Ian Cooper. Shea gets it out. O'Connor. Durdle. Durdle once more. McDonald's. Come to be seen by Brabant. And certainly the front line of Durham is working back hard. Offside call.
Yes, again, it's gone into a little bit of a lull. Each team not wanting to make too many mistakes, so a little bit safety at the back. And Peterborough are going to have to commit themselves very soon. 1 goal behind, 6 minutes, 53 seconds to go. So there's going to have to be a big effort coming up any minute now.
That's McDonald we're looking at. Through the leg of Robbie Saginaw, who will have to make the decision when to pull up his goalkeeper to give him an extra man. Won't do it yet a while. Here's Brabant. Dummy's one shot, Dummy's another. Good save. It's gone loose in the corner. Mark Slater. They haven't got it out of their defensive end, the Pirates, yet. Slater and Blaisdell. And Blaisdell will be quite happy if Slater holds it against the ball. A few more seconds wasted.
Mike Blaisdell's a big man and hard to hold off the board. Mark Slater, even though he's a defenseman, supposed to be heavy, Blaisdell was a hard man to hold down.
Man who scored key goals in 42 seconds of the start of the last period of the semi-final to tie the match with Murrayfield Racers at 6-all 6 and to lead to the Durham onslaught. Brabant and Shea. Brabant, the top scorer in the country. Shea, I speak from memory, in 3rd place in the league competition. With a nod of approval from Gordon Wade, our stats man. I'll be furious if I got it wrong. This is Slater. Doc Durdle. And up goes a bit of a roar, and they at least get the face-off down at the Durham end. And at the other end, Scott O'Connor is skating up and down, all prepared, should he be called, to make a dash to the bench. It's a bubble gum this afternoon for a man who rarely stops chewing. Shea, Edmiston, Allen, Durdle, and Trent Casey. That's the quintet for Peterborough Pirates. Front line on for Durham. 2 Coopers, Brabant, Mike O'Connor, and Blaisdell. And here's Brabant, nicked away from him by Danny Shea. Had a good contest, those two. They've quite often been in personal confrontation. Durdle. Edmiston. Chase back for Stephen Cooper. And it's called back. Puck just dropped in. And an offside call. It's going to come all the way back. No attempt to make a pass.
Yes, I'm a bit mystified at that, Barry. I didn't think that warranted coming back that far, but the linesman's in charge, and Peter are back in dangerous position here.
Paul Smith we were looking at then. He's twice been coached this season. Started off as just a player, then took over briefly. For a short while on came another coach, and finally out he's ended up with the job, and he's going to take the accolade if his side can win. Shea gets the break after Scott O'Connor and made the good stop at the other end. Edmiston, Trent Casey, Allen is waiting, Shea comes out to Stephen Cooper, Brabant, Blaisdell taking his time into the last 5 minutes. Stephen Cooper collects when really he shouldn't have been allowed to, and he's wide of the far post. Blaisdell. Good save from Ian Cooper. Keeps Pirates going. Casey a little bit slow to get the skates moving. And Danny Shea couldn't take it. That's a poor clearance. Dean Edmiston. It's loose and then held against the goal by Frank Killen.
Well, this was just a casual clearance here. Put Durham back under pressure. Good shot, and it could have bounced anywhere. Trent Casey just couldn't get enough to get it over the top of Frankie Killen.
Frankie Killen's team, 4 minutes and 31 seconds away from cleaning up on all the honours during the course of the season. Won the Autumn Cup, won the league, and leading in the championship. King, smallest player on the ice. And it comes out Peterborough's way, and King at the back, taking on Mike O'Connor. Punches every centimetre of his weight and height. Bennett. Oh, that's a block in the middle, if you like. Damien Smith, and it's goal! Scored by Anthony Payne. Durham supporters all standing on their feet. They feel that with 4 minutes and 7 seconds remaining, that will be good enough.
Well, this line are quite dangerous. They do score goals for Durham quite regularly. They fought well for this puck, and one chance, and Anthony Payne's put it right in the back of the net. Just a great fight for a loose puck, and one chance, and he found a corner of the net.
Well, the two are cousins, Payne and the Smith family. And it's the youngest of the Smith boys who sets up the chance, and Anthony Payne who scores. 6-4. Allen. Under 4 minutes left. Mike O'Connor with the clearance. Doc Durdle in the championship side with Nottingham Panthers. And Rocky Saganyuk last got a team to the final. Durdle was in the opposition and came out successful. But it's been a fine performance by Peterborough. They really looked out of it in the middle period.
That's right, and Rocky will know that even with 3 minutes 40 seconds to go, 6-4 was not a lead that you can sit back on or not get back. So he'll be still trying there.
And you remember, as will all the Pirates supporters, that it was 2 goals in 75 seconds by Danny Shea, which brought Pirates through these finals. But here is Ian Cooper. Good kick away by Scott O'Connor. Brabant held on the boards. And as we looked at Edmiston and Brabant, Durdle and the man he was marking, Ian Cooper, looked at each other, thought about it, and then smiled. .3:33. And the timeout has been called, or has it? No, it's just been pulled out for the face-off.
Yes, and this is another good shot here, but the goalie's well out and got it well covered, kicks it away.
Scott O'Connor certainly not frightened to come out to close the angles. O'Connor, the other O'Connor, it's Michael. Durdle, they've got to get it down the other end, Peterborough. And then they might give themselves a chance at the extra man. That's a great pass, Trent Casey! And the chance isn't taken. Shea to Trent Casey, one of the passes of the match. And Casey couldn't make it count. Now Dean Edmiston. Casey just to his right. Edmiston gets through. They haven't got enough players forward. Inside 3 minutes. Stopped by McDonald's, and again McDonald's. Puck bouncing all over the place. Stephen Cooper. O'Connor, Ian Cooper. Shea gets it back. And the front line of Durham turns on the blue line. Intent on covering. Danny Shea got a little bit of a deflection off the ankle of Mike O'Connor. Edmiston. Just played in. They have to come out, so well, an offside was called, and it's been brought all the way back, which is bad news for Pirates.
Yes, that a lovely breakaway from and pass from Danny Shea to Trent Casey could have been the goal of the contest. This was a perfect pass and perfectly timed, and Trent Casey will be disappointed to have missed that. But Frankie Killen, to be fair, right on the spot.
Frank Killen referred to Chris Salem, who played the majority of the league games and finished up at the top of the averages. But Killen, out with a knee injury, has come back to play the majority of games in the playoffs, including this one. He's come up with a couple of fine catches and an important save then. 2:14 and counting. Shea. Edmiston wasn't motoring fast enough. Shea might pick up from him. Comes across. Doc Durdle was waiting. This is Edmiston. And Edmiston again. 2 minutes left. And Durham clear their lines again. Through Stephen Cooper. Comes out to Ivor Bennett. In on his man. Scores! And Ivor Bennett, who's been ever present in the Durham team since it all started, this Heineken League, has certainly now scored the killer goal. He did so in the semi-final, giving Durham the 2-goal advantage against Murrayfield Racers. And there's no way, surely, back for Peterborough Pirates now. 3-goal advantage for the Wasps.
Yes, and Ivor on the break when the Peterborough were pushing up, and he gets that through Scott O'Connor's legs, and a vital goal again. Ivor Bennett seems to score a lot of them at Wembley.
Time of goal, 18 minutes, 13 seconds. Scored by
I think it's a goal that is going to, what you'd like me to say it, wouldn't you, sink the Pirates.
Yes, just before that, Durham had paid Peterborough the respect of backing up 5 men defending there, just playing for the breaks, and Peterborough had to go forward, and unfortunately gave the breakaway that has sealed their fate in this final.
Final which has seen 2 British players made men of the match for the 2 teams. We've just seen one of them score the crucial goal, Ivor Bennett for Durham, and Dean Edmiston has got the vote of the ice hockey writers for Peterborough. Clock stops again at 1 minute and 25 seconds. Rocky Saganyuk at 5-4. It seemed as though his dream might come true, but his hopes have been dashed.
It was nice to think that Ivor Bennett got the man of the match, because there was a lot of people thought that his performance in the semi-final was one of the best they had put up. So it's nice to see him getting a just reward in the final.
Danny Shea. Just plays it in. O'Connor, picked up by Trent Casey. Shea and Killen making sure that nobody else gets that. Expressions on the 2 benches. Whoops! And Trent Casey getting a little unhappy with Mike Blaisdell. Blaisdell taken away and Trent Casey taken away. They can both cool it at the end. They'll take no further part in this final. And Trent Casey and Mike Blaisdell still prepared to have a little go at each other. The linesman doing a good job in ushering them to either side of the timekeeper's desk. Michael O'Connor did well then to come back and calm things.
That was a good move by the linesman. That was a really bad poke by Casey, and he deserved what he got in his way from Blaisdell. And Blaisdell's probably more unlucky than Casey to be in the penalty box. But the linesman acted very well there and deserved the best credit for killing that situation very quickly.
It did seem that Blaisdell got the punch, but the reaction with the stick is hugely dangerous. And it's the third time that Trent Casey has been in the box, and there he finishes. We go into the last minute with both sides a man short. But it's just a question of playing out time now. All the spoils will have the name of Durham Wasps on them. Norwich Union Cup, the Heineken League and the Heineken Championship. And over the course of the season, it has to be said that Durham have been the best side, and they proved it.
Yes, they are. They certainly have the strongest squad. Both two lines, good squad of British players who can really keep their end up, as Ian Cooper showing here.
Battling for it at the end, can't get it out. Cotton getting a rare chance. Dean Edmiston trying to get round Mike O'Connor. The credit should be paid to Peterborough, and certainly Saganook has lifted the sport in that city. Finished third in the league, made it for the first time ever to the finals, and have played well. Edmiston not too happy about the attentions of Ian Cooper. Would you believe the two of them were colleagues in the Great Britain World Championship side, but Dean Edmiston doing himself no favours with the rabbit punch, and not doing ice hockey any favours either. That was quite unnecessary, and I'm afraid the disappointment seems to have affected a couple of the Peterborough players here.
Yes, I think Dean Edmiston, though, won't like himself when he sees that, because it was pretty ineffective and not the kind of way to finish a major championship when your team has done really well.
Clock has stopped at 18 seconds left. And Paul Smith will go the title smile of the winning coach. "18 seconds still to play." Final ending in a slightly bad-tempered fashion. But the verdict has gone to the right side. The delay now is to know exactly what Edmiston is in the penalty box for. I think it was clear to everybody around. And
Peterborough Pirates penalty number 27, Dean Edmiston. 2-minute penalty for cross-checking.
Cross-checking.
Penalty number 66, Ian Cooper.
And Ian Cooper also goes into the penalty box. So the end at 3 apiece. Cotton with perhaps the last shot of the match.
2-minute cross-checking penalty number 27 of the Pirates, Dean Edmiston.
But the countdown by the Durham supporters, the result is 7-4 for the Durham Wasps. They are the Heineken champions.
And that's brought us right up to full time here on Sunday Grandstand as well.